Well, she's there.
We got alphabet. A.
C
goes there. That one goes up there. That goes way down.
For 20 years, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know.
But
Yeah, somebody's getting it like that.
Doing it again.
I was getting ready to say it while I'm seeing it.
What's I doing?
Always in the ACT still says 6:29.
Oh, those came from Cajun.
Let me stand for the pledge of allegiance.
The Cajun?
Yeah, the hot ones are good.
alphabetical.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any citizen questions regarding tonight's agenda? Take roll call. Trustee Meadows. Trustee Myers. Here. Trustee Stevens. Here. Trustee Stewart. Trustee Thomas.
Here.
Trustee Walden. Here. Trustee here. Here. I call the meeting to order at 6:30. 6:30. Do we have any excellence in education tonight? Do we have any consideration or additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? Can I get approval of agenda?
Mr. President, I move the Willow Board of Education approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Board of Education approve the agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
Mr. President, I move the Willow Board of Education approve the minutes as presented from the board meeting of October 6, 2011.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Board of Education approve the minutes as presented from the board meeting of October 6, 2011. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any board committee reports today? Seeing none. Approval of purchase order, Apple Inc.
I move that the Willow Run Board of Education approve the attached purchase order to Apple Inc. in the amount of $21,120.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education approve the attached purchase order to Apple Inc. in the amount of $21,120. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Approval of purchase orders, C-High Computer Products, Inc.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education approve the purchase of printers for C-High in the amount of $29,127.89.
Support. It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education approve the purchase of printers from C-High in the amount of $29,127.89. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Review of contract supplemental services.
Mr. President, I move the Willow Run Board of Education open for review the attached contract to be used with the state approved supplemental service providers as required by the No Child Left Behind Act.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education open for review the attached contract to be used with the state approved supplemental service providers as required by the No Child Left Behind Act. Discussion.
She'll answer any questions if you'd like. This
might be a good time. We've got a couple of board members.
Sure.
Maybe bring someone else to support.
because the high school did not make AYP, we are required and have not made it for several years. We are required by law to set aside a certain percentage of our Title I funds before we even allocate them for any district expenditures to pay for supplemental tutoring services for any high school students that may qualify, so they can get them in any of the more content areas. They get free tutoring through outside providers, so it's just something we're required to do by law each year. So when we get off the list, we don't have to set aside anymore. So hopefully next year, we will have set aside.
What kind of?
There's no amount on here because we don't know how much it is that we are going to spend, and how much which vendors will we use and which aren't. We just have to make sure that we have board-approved vendors to offer to the students and families.
And the vendors come from a state-approved list. They're vendors we have to use, so.
Right. What kind of participation are we actually getting from the students that need the help? Are we relying on them to walk up to us and say that they need the help? Or are we actively?
No, what we have to do is provide a provider fair and invite all of the contract holders to come in and speak with parents. I apologize, we just can't help. And then the students and parents self-select who they want to get services from. The service providers aren't allowed to solicit above and beyond any of the other service providers, and we aren't allowed to recommend any service providers.
But we let them, I think to directly answer your question, we do let them know that the service is available. So it's kind of a
Oh,
combination
yes,
of both.
yes.
Do we walk up specifically to tap Johnny on the shoulder and say, hey, you really ought to go do this?
Well, we give out the information. We don't necessarily.
The information is available in the counseling office. So it's available for students to pick up.
So it's,
I think, go ahead.
it's not, is it promoted? I think that's kind of what, like if someone needs help, is it promoted?
We do say it's available, yes. If they are unable to attend our after-school tutoring, or if after-school tutoring is not available, we do say, well, we have this provided. And we do send letters home to each child in the high school. Each household receives the packet with the contract providers.
And that's a requirement.
Right.
Okay, so if we see that somebody's having problems, they get a packet?
No.
Or everybody?
Everybody gets a packet.
Okay, so
I've gotten it every year.
I guess what I think, where I echo what I think Mark is saying is that I think I don't think you as teachers or administrators know those who may be not up to par, so to speak.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think what Mark was saying is anyway, you reach out to those special people.
Oh, absolutely. When
Okay.
they are doing, when the counselors have their sit-downs with individual students, Ms. Jackson and Ms. Travers do
Okay.
actively say, you might want to.
That's why I said both has been done.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have 23 vendors on there. How do you choose what the child needs? Or how do they choose? If I'm not mistaken, you just said you didn't recommend any of them.
We can't.
We can't
Well, you
recommend
can't, but I
it.
mean,
Above
how
and beyond.
It's
are
up.
the kids supposed to know
The parents.
what they need?
I've been through this, just for experience sake. What we did was we contacted several of the vendors based on the subject matter that was needed to be dealt with. And then we went and actually sat down and talked with the person running the place and decided which one we chose. And each vendor offered project matter in every single field that was being offered, that was required to be offered. And what they do is bring in tutors that are certified to work with kids in those subjects.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if each one of these vendors had a different specialty,
No.
or they all have.
I didn't find any close to here. I just know, like I said, from personal experience, that's what we did.
So all of these, they're not in the area? Is that what you're saying?
There were a couple, like in
Some of them
Warren,
provide them online. They provide
Rochester,
online.
yeah. So there's a lot of different options.
There are different options. There are places you can go. Some of the tutors actually rent space